Good morning, everybody. My name is Dwayne McKee. I am a volunteer firefighter for the Anne Arundel County Fire Department here in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. I have 27 years in. I currently hold the rank of lieutenant and about to be promoted into captain. It is a non-paying job. We do not get paid for this, and I've been doing it for 27 years. That being said, I started when I was 16 years old, the day I got my driver's license, and I was navigating and exploring the world as you would. And I happened to pass by a volunteer firehouse who wasn't even in my neighborhood, and the sign said help wanted. So I stopped in, asked, and met some really great people. Right at that moment, I was like, oh, why not? Because what's the worst thing that can happen? I'll just quit. So I tried it out, and they trained me. It gave me the brotherhood. It gave me that family orientation that I needed, the structure, the rigidity, if that's a word, of life. It also was. It happened at a very, very pinnacle moment in my life where at 16 years old, you have a lot of your friends trying different things, and my particular crowd, if you would, were going in a direction that may not be uh, looked up upon, I should say. So I chose this. It kept me out of that world. It also kept me it kept me educated and kept me focused. So that is who I am. The volunteer fire service in Anne Arundel County is a combined. The fire department, as in general, is combined in Anne Arundel County, and it's something that's very unique to the East Coast of the United States. When you so we and we have a volunteer side, and we all come together in the end to provide a service to the community. Uh, when you have a larger city like Baltimore, Annapolis, Minneapolis, LA, any big metropolis, they have a career. It's 100% career. There is no volunteer. The moment you step outside that line where you go into a rural area, it becomes a volunteer fire system or a combined system, if you would. That being said, 74% of all firefighters in the United States are volunteer. That is a very big number. It is one of the very few things in our civic world that is so revered and not get paid for. You could think about other things like the volunteer police officer or the volunteer anything. Just think of anything at all. Until you get to the word volunteer firefighter, it jumps you up at a different level. It puts a huge impression when you're doing job interviews on the person who is hiring you, to the people who are around you. I would say probably it's very similar to being an Eagle Scout, if you know what that is. And you go through life in doing great things for great people. Now, the firefighting world is pretty fantastic. I mean, who doesn't like to ride or drive fire trucks? I mean, come on, it's pretty ubiquitous. Are you either 2 years old or 102 years old? You see a fire truck, you can't not smile. It doesn't matter where you're from. It is one of the beauties of what we do for, I wouldn't say living, but for my volunteer career. So let me see. I'll take a pause here and read one of these awesome questions. Training. Very good. All of our training in the state of Maryland is provided by University of Maryland. It is the University of Maryland pays for another school, like a sub school called MIFRE, Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute. All of us, both career and volunteer, have to go through these classes. So you go through fire school, you go through EMT, you go through your specialty stuff, rescue specialists, road specialists, swift water rescue, and then you can get into paramedical stuff. So you can do anything you want, and you could really hone in your craft. It's a very beautiful thing, and you continually train. Then you get done, you think you're done training, and then you start leadership training, and then you start building up, and then you start teaching. So you're never outside the training world. I would assume that's very similar to a teacher, if you would, but it is very, very rewarding. Let's see here, another question. Huh. Occupation. So I will do, what are the training requirements for a volunteer firefighter? The only training requirement to be a volunteer firefighter is you have to be 16 years of age. That's it. After your 16th birthday, you become a full-time, you become a volunteer firefighter, full-fledged, riding the fire trucks, riding the ambulances, so forth and so on. You have to go through fire school, of course, or EMT school, but that's basically what it is. Let's see, what else is there? How has your job affected your lifestyle? Well, obviously, it's affected, and you can hear it in my voice. It is a very beautiful thing to be a part of. Additionally, I started my own business because of it. It's a nonprofit business called Second Lawn Brew House, located in Pasadena, Maryland. We're a nonprofit coffee shop, and our mission is to create more awareness and recruitment for the volunteer fire service. We'll talk about that later. What else? Sorts of changes. What sorts of changes are occurring in your occupation? Interesting question. So the volunteer service is on the verge of extinction, mainly because most people don't know about it or know that they can volunteer. Most people say, well, I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. I can't ride a fire truck. Well, that's not necessarily true. You could run a fire truck, or you could run the business. The volunteer fire service isn't just riding the fire trucks. You can come in and be the president. You can come in and be a board member. You can come in and help fundraising. You can come in. It doesn't matter how old you are. We always need the help. We are a nonprofit organization. Each and every volunteer fire company, it's its own business. So we have our own carnivals and our own bingos and our own boot drives and so forth and so on, our own community connections. So that is, but that's dying off because not many people know. And I don't know if it's just a change in generation. I don't believe it's so. I believe it's because nobody knows. So I'm here to tell you that give it a try. Why not? What do you have to lose? Everybody goes to, especially in school, you have sports, you have whatever have you. That's all volunteer. It's the same thing. You're putting the same amount of effort into it. This you can give back. You could actually help somebody in your community. It's a very rewarding thing. That being said, I was going to touch on this earlier. As awesome as it is to be a volunteer firefighter, you see some great things. You also see some bad things. It really it humbles you. You really see society for what it is. It's a very beautiful thing.